What's up, everybody? My name is LeVar. Welcome to Code Tega, and today I'm going to show you how to create a desktop app utilizing React. It's super simple. We're going to use a framework called Electron. If you're familiar with Electron, great. This is going to be super simple for you. If you're not familiar with Electron, still going to be super simple, especially if you know React. So the first thing we need to do is install a bundler, a Webpack bundler that Electron offers. If you want to follow along with the documentation, you can, and that's at electronforge.io. They have a great step-by-step documentation on how to do this with React. There are a couple things that I do differently than they do, but it's essentially the same thing. It's just written down. So electronforge.io if you want some documentation on how to do this. So the first thing we need to do is install the bundler. It's a Webpack bundler that Electron offers, and it's the Webpack Electron app bundler with Webpack. So name it whatever you want. I'll name this one Tega. Just go into a directory that makes sense that you want to start this project in. So npm init electron slash app at latest Tega dash dash space dash dash template equals Webpack. So we want to go ahead and install that plugin. So this essentially comes with everything you need to get an Electron app up and running. Essentially, after we start this, we can npm start and it will run our Electron app. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like pre-React. So we'll wait for all the dependencies to get installed. It takes a couple seconds, but yeah, if you want to install Tailwind, there's a CSS library after you get React up and running. There's a few extra steps that you have to do. If you're interested in a tutorial on how to do that, I'll create another video. Just let me know below. And if you're not and you think you can figure it out, that's great too. So, all right, so it's installed. The next thing we want to do, let's change directory into, or change into that directory. And I'll just open that up so that you can see what it looks like that comes pre-installed with that bundler. So similar to React, you have your source folder, your node modules, all that stuff. It comes with a couple different things. Let me explain a couple of these for you. Your Webpack rules. This is your module exports. We're going to go in here and we're going to update this with our JSX or TSX if you're using TypeScript. But yeah, you basically want to update this when we create a React app. The other part that we're going to edit and modify is this renderer.js file, but we'll get into that in a sec. So the next step is we need to actually install the React library, the Babel React library for Electron. And that's also pretty simple. It's npm install. You want to save them to your dev dependencies. And so we're going to install Babel core and then this Babel preset for React and then your Babel loader. So we'll go ahead and install those. Should be pretty quick. And while that's installing, let me go into the Webpack rules and we'll update that. Basically, we're going to update it with an object that runs our JSX code. If you're going to be using TypeScript, this is going to need to be TSX. But basically, with the Babel loader and the preset, React preset that we're installing, it'll be able to render JSX for us in our Electron app. So we'll go ahead and save that. So go ahead, update it, take your time, pause the video if you need to. Next, instead of just creating a React app like we normally would with our npx installation process, what we're going to do instead is just manually install React into our dependencies. And so we'll just npm install save React and React DOM, and that will be all we need to get React up and running within our Electron app. So before I start, before I actually start with React in the app, let's just look at what Electron looks like preloaded with that Webpack bundle. Before we change anything for React, let's just look at what it looks like pre-React so you can kind of get an idea. And if you don't want to use React and you just want to utilize Electron, that's cool too. It's very, very unique and it's a very cool library. A lot of people use it. I think Slack uses it. Microsoft Teams, Signal, all utilize Electron for their desktop applications. Super slick. Okay. So once you start it, like you would a React app or anything else, this is what you get pre-installed for Electron. Here's your desktop app. Pretty simple. I'll show you how to get rid of this menu bar if you don't want it. But yeah, this is it. This is Electron. So let's close out of it. Now let's get React up and running. So what I'm going to do, this is what I do a little bit differently than the documentation on the Electron Forge site, is instead of creating an app file, I'm just going to stick to the standard index file. And because it's more insert index.jsx, more standard to React and how I work in it. So we'll just copy what they have in the Electron Forge documentation. We're going to import all from React, and then the create root from React DOM client. And we're going to render just a simple hello from React in our body. So let's go ahead and save that. And then the next thing we need to do is update our renderer.js file. So we want to render the JS index.jsx file instead of the CSS. And now when we start it, npm start, we should get the basic functionality to our React app. It should just render that index file, and that's what we should get. So once we start it, let's see what we got. Make sure there's no errors. Boom. It looks like it worked. Hello from React. We have now installed React into Electron, and we now have a desktop app that utilizes React. Super simple, super quick. I don't think that took us more than 5 minutes to get up and running. But there are a couple tricks to this that are not normal to React if you've worked in React for a long time. One of the things is we tend to do the get element by ID React root loader, but instead we're just going to do the document body, which means we have to do things a little bit differently, or some things a little bit differently than how we would normally do it. And I'll just show you real quick. So let's say you have a component. Let's just do home.jsx, and we'll just do a standard function for React, save it. And now we want to import it into React like we normally would. Now, if we do this, and we render that home component, let's just start it and I'll show you what we get. We should get an error for doing it this way, because we're not actually importing home. It's not going to find home in the same way we would normally import functions. Now we could change some stuff up within Electron to just import it with the @ symbol like we would in like maybe a Next app or a certain type of React app. But what we're just going to do instead is we're just going to add the .jsx, because I don't really want to change Electron around too much. I want to keep it how it comes compiled, so that we don't tweak too much of it and end up breaking our code later on down the line. So now when we npm start it, because we just added the simple.jsx tag, and you're going to want to do that throughout this app. Anytime you import a component or a page into another page or a component and utilize anything that we would normally utilize in React, you need to import it with the tags, the .jsx tags. And here we go. Super simple, ran. Now we can import that component in. And now you have a React app up and running, and you could do everything you would normally do in React. You could the route functionality with React Router DOM, that will function the exact same as it would in a React app, except now you do it. You're not going to see the actual URL up in the desktop app. So you want to tweak it a little bit differently than you would, because people can't just go back and forth like you could in a web app. It's a desktop app, so you need to design it a little bit differently than you normally would, but it's super simple, super straightforward. And this is how you create a React app on your desktop. So let's close. Well, let's close out of this real quick, and I'm going to show you how to get rid of that menu. I don't like that menu. I like to create my own. So we're going to go into the main.js file, and all we're going to do is we're going to, I think it's auto hide menu bar, and we're just going to set that to true. And now that menu bar should be gone. So we'll start our app up and just make sure that I told you correctly. But let's just check it out. Boom. Yep. Menu bar is now gone, and we no longer see it. And you can create your own menu bar from here on out. If you want to update your hello world and all that, it's in your index.html file. So you can update it here. Just simple, standard, as just like we do in React. We can update the index file. It's just not in the public folder. It's in the source folder. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that it was helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you want to see a tutorial on how to install Tailwind, there's a little bit of a trick to it, but it's not super hard or complicated, and I can show you how to do that. Please make sure you subscribe so I can create more videos like this. If you find it helpful, it'd be super helpful to me if I could get more subscribers and start actually growing this channel up a little bit. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Welcome to Codetega, and I'll see you around.